Afternoon guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. Today I'm going to be doing a movie review. This is a UK horror film released in 2011, directed by Ben Wheatley, and this movie is called Kill List. Now whether or not you want to call this a horror or a thriller, you could probably call them both, but for the sake of this review I'm going to call it a UK horror film. So the story to Kill List is as follows. 8 months after a disastrous job in Kiev left him physically and mentally scarred, ex-soldier turned contract killer Jay is pressured by his partner Gal into taking a new assignment. At first the hit list seems simple enough, but Jay soon notices something strange in the way that his intended victims act towards him. As they descend into the dark and disturbing world of the contract, Jay begins to unravel once again, his fear and paranoia sending him deep into the heart of darkness. So the film centers around two main characters and their hitmen, Jay and Gal. Jay is more of the main character and Gal is the supporting role. Jay hasn't worked in 8 months. Now, 8 months ago, himself and Gal, they went on a mission in Kiev and it went disastrously wrong. So it really has traumatized the both of them. You don't exactly know what happened, but all you know is that it went horribly wrong and it's mentally and physically scarred the both of them. So they haven't worked in 8 months. And Jay's wife, Jay has a wife and a young son. His wife is getting fed up because she wants her husband to start making money to support the family. So Jay is coming up with all these excuses that he's mentally scarred, that he's got a sore back, he's this, he's that. He's just making up excuses, and his wife is not having anything of it. She's losing patience. So she basically says, if you don't find a job soon, I'm taking our son and I'm leaving. So Jay is left with no other option but to accept a proposal from his partner Gal. Now Gal tells him that he's been approached by a wealthy businessman that has given him a hit list. And if they carry out this hit list successfully, they're going to get rewarded a handsome sum of money. So Gal thinks that this is the answer to Jay's problems. But to start with, Jay is reluctant to accept this offer because of his traumatized past. But he realizes that if he doesn't take this one, that he's going to lose everything he has living for him. So he ends up accepting, and they go and meet these people who have made this contract, and they're given the kill list. Now, on this kill list are 3 people. It seems very easy. They don't seem very menacing, and they seem like easy targets. So a little bit too good to be true. But Gal and Jay don't think anything of it. They just see it as easy money. So when they start killing off these people, they realize something is not quite right. That the people, their victims, are not reacting in the way that the hitmen thought. And each victim is reacting in exactly the same way. So this is very, very strange. And this causes Jay to go into a state of paranoia because he believes that maybe something is much bigger going on than the actual, the simple kill list. So he thinks there is a little bit more to it than met the eye. And whether or not that's true or if it's just his state of mind, I'm going to leave that up to you to find out for yourself. But hopefully that synopsis has left enough curiosity for you to have a look at this one. Now, my thoughts on this movie. This was a good film. It should have been a great film. Unfortunately, the negatives prevented it from being that, but fortunately, the positives outweigh the negatives. Now, the positives are, it's a very atmospheric film. The atmosphere is superb. There's an overwhelming sense of dread. You don't know what's going to happen, but you're not very positive, and you don't have a lot of confidence that things are going to work out well for either of these people and their families. So it's not really what you see, it's what you don't see, and the anticipation of something bad that's happening. So that's very rare in films like these days, to actually have attention to detail in the atmosphere and the environment. And I thought the director really nailed it, and he combined a lot of horror subgenres into one, and it really did make a very memorable experience. It's very, very unsettling, and it's just deeply uncomfortable, and throughout the entire length you never feel good. You always feel on edge, and you're always expecting something really bad, even though it just hasn't happened yet. So that's what I liked about this the most. I'm really into the psychological aspect, and this one really does deliver in psychology. But having said that, it also delivers in raw, brutal violence. The violence in this film is hardcore. I haven't been shocked since the violence in Irreversible. This one is not quite as shocking as those two scenes, but having said that, they are extreme. And there is one word I'm just going to say. For those of you who have seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. And for those of you who are about to see this film, look out for this word, librarian. That's all I'm going to say. Come back and PM me. I don't want to give anything away of what happens, but, PM me and tell me how that scene affected you, because it really shocked me. I couldn't believe what I was watching, but, it's really graphic and horribly painful. So, yeah, the violence, there's 3 scenes of shocking violence, and I'll tell you this, the scenes that I'm talking about are deeply unsettling, and it will strike you very, very hard because it's very realistic violence. There's no glamorization, there's no gratuitous violence. It's not overly long, but when it happens, it's fast and furious, and it's over before you know it. But it hits you like a ton of bricks. So if you like your realistic violence, then this one's definitely for you. It's not an overly gory film, but as I said, when the violence hits you, it does hit very, very hard. It is a very, very high impact violent film. Now, the acting was okay. Neil Maskell, he's been in a lot of other UK films. He kind of plays the same sort of seedy character in every one of his films. I'd like to see him play someone completely different, but he does his job in this one. Unfortunately, one of the criticisms I had is that there's no real development into the two hitmen. They're very interesting characters, but we don't know exactly what happened in Kiev. And I actually thought that would have been a little bit better in developing a sense of sympathy for these two. Although they do horrible, horrible things, you can tell that they're traumatized and they're torn apart mentally. But just if it was explained a little bit as to why and what happened, I think it would have generated just a little bit more sympathy, because Jay doesn't want to go back into the hitman world, but he's left with no other option. So although they're despicable human beings, you can get a sense of sympathy for them because of their circumstances. Supporting cast were very good. I thought Gal's character was awesome. He was the level-headed one, and he was a little bit reluctant to go through with these things. So there was a strong element of realism mixed in with some surrealism as well, but it never goes outside the realm of reality. It's a very realistic film, but it will hit you very hard. Like the violence, the atmosphere also gets to you very much. It's very similar to The Wicker Man, the original. I haven't actually seen it, but I've been told by a lot of people that if you like The Wicker Man, you're going to really like this one. It deals with the same sort of elements to The Wicker Man. I'm not going to tell you exactly, but I actually thought, there's a lot more to it than just two hitmen going on a kill list. So there is a lot of depth to it, and it's probably going to warrant another, one or two views after you've seen it. So yeah, a lot of good things going for it. Unfortunately, the ending. Now, a lot of people have criticised the ending. I actually thought it didn't ruin the film, but I just thought it was a little bit lazy, and it was kind of too convenient for this to happen. And I just felt that the director put it in very quickly just for another shocking scene. Yes, it does shock, but it was a little bit, as I said, it was just a little bit fast-tracked and a little bit lazy. And I would have liked it just to play out just a little bit more and make a little bit more sense. However, having said that, the ending's not as bad as a lot of people will make it out to be. So don't go in there thinking that the ending is going to ruin the whole experience. It's definitely worth it. And I thought, although the ending could have been better, it was still decent for the actual film. And it does leave you with the feeling that you have all the way through it. So as things unfold, it starts to turn from a drama. It's a very slow start, but people say it's too slow. I don't agree with that. I thought it was developing the story very nicely. And as the further you go into it, the further you're going into the darkness. And then, as I said, the ending pays it all off. So, yeah, it starts from a drama and it really goes into a horror film as the film progresses. So, a lot to like about it. Unfortunately, yeah, those little things that weren't quite there to make it a brilliant film. I'm still going to recommend it. I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5. I thought, a very good little British film. And if you like your hardcore sort of horror, then this one is definitely one I'm going to recommend to you. So that's my review of the 2011 Kill List, directed by Ben Wheatley. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully that has made you want to go out and see it for yourself. So until next time, take care of yourselves, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later. Bye.